missed the last bus, looked at the screen, laughed for no reason. Guess I wasn't in a hurry anyway. A little food stand still had the lights on. The old guy smiled like he'd seen this before. Long night, maybe. Didn't say much after that. The air was warm enough. People kept walking, cars kept rushing. Nobody noticed how quiet everything felt. I used to think every minute mattered. Now I'm not so sure. Some nights don't need a destination. Maybe they're already enough. So I walk, just walk past closed cafés, half-lit windows, someone practicing guitar upstairs. A dog that refuses to sleep. Feels like the city's finally talking instead of shouting. Funny how missing one bus can save an evening. Funny how doing nothing can feel like finally arriving. I don't need fireworks, don't need a perfect view. This sidewalk, this breeze, this slow heartbeat, that's enough tonight. A bicycle rolled by, someone humming a song I didn't know. For a second, everything belonged together. No reason, no explanation, just one of those moments you never think to photograph. Tomorrow, the alarms will come back. Meetings, messages, the usual noise, they can wait. Just a few more blocks, just a little longer. If I ever forget what peace sounds like, I hope I remember this night. The empty street, the orange lights, the warm wind and me walking home without wishing I was somewhere else. Yeah, threw my bag in the backseat, didn't pack much, just enough for wherever this road decides to end. The windows are down, and warm breeze smells like salt. Before we even see the water, you point ahead there. Just a line of palm trees leaning into the sky. Funny how they never seem in a hurry. Maybe they figured something out. We're not chasing anything today. Not a clock, not a deadline, not somebody else's idea of a good life. Just another mile, another song, another laugh that disappears into the wind. Palm trees on the highway, sunlight on your face. The world keeps moving, but we don't have to race it. Leave the city in the rearview mirror. For a little while, everything feels lighter. Palm trees on the highway, that's all we need. Hey! Stopped at a tiny store, bought cold drinks and way too many snacks. The woman at the register said,
"Looks like a beach day."
We smiled, didn't bother correcting her. Maybe she was right. Maybe every road can lead to the beach if you stop worrying about the map. Clouds drift by, the radio fades, so we make up our own chorus. Half the words don't rhyme, the tune changes every time. Still sounds perfect, because nobody's trying too hard. Palm trees on the highway, windows full of blue. Every little detour turns into a better view. No one's waiting, nothing's late. This moment doesn't need improving. Palm trees on the highway, let's keep driving. Probably forget which exit we took, what we ate, which song was playing. But I remember how easy it felt to breathe, and that's enough. Palm trees on the highway, one more mile, one more sunset. No promises, no plans. The road, the breeze, and a reason to keep smiling. I wasn't planning to stay this late. You said, come upstairs, the view's better. So I did. Someone brought a little speaker, someone else forgot the ice. Didn't matter. The lemonade was warm, the jokes were terrible, and somehow it was the best evening we'd had in months. The sun kept sliding between the buildings, turning every window into gold. Nobody reached for their phone for once. We let the moment be enough. Raise your cup to another slow sunset, to the friends who showed up anyway, to the days that never made the headlines but somehow become the ones we miss. Rooftop lemonade, a little music, a little breeze, a little time that nobody can rush. The city sounded softer from up here, sirens in the distance, someone cooking dinner, a train rolling somewhere we couldn't see. Life kept happening, we didn't need to keep up. You started humming something you probably forget by tomorrow. We all joined in, different notes, different voices. Nobody cared, it wasn't perfect, it was real. Raise your cup before the light fades, before tomorrow starts asking questions tonight. We don't need answers, we got stories, cheap lemonade, and one more hour under the sky. Maybe happiness is smaller than we imagine. Maybe it fits on an old rooftop, in paper cups, between friends who laugh too loud out if that's true. I think we found it. The lights come on, the stars try their best. Someone says, same time next week. Nobody answers, everybody smiles. That usually means yes. We almost called it the night. Keys were already in my hand, and somebody pointed at the sky. Look at that. We all stopped. Funny how a sunset doesn't wait, but somehow it never feels in a hurry. The bakery on the corner still had bread coming out of the oven. A kid rode past with one hand on the handlebar, singing something only he knew. Nobody told him to be quiet. Nothing's closed yet, not the streets, not the sky, not this little piece of the night. Let's keep walking until the lights start looking like stars. We've got nowhere special to be, and somehow that's the best place tonight. An old couple shared one umbrella, even though it wasn't raining. Maybe it was for the shade, maybe they've just been doing that for years. Some things don't need explaining. A bus pulled away, nobody ran after it. Someone shrugged, we'll catch the next one. Everybody laughed like missing it was part of the plan. Maybe it was. Nothing's closed yet, not our stories, not these songs floating out of open windows. Stay a little longer, the night's still young, and so are we for the next few hours. Tomorrow we'll ask for our attention. Emails, phone calls, the usual rush. It'll still be there when morning comes. Tonight, let it wait outside. Street lights blinked on, one after another, like the city was taking a slow breath. We kept walking, no destination, no countdown, just enough time to remember that ordinary evenings can quietly become the ones you never forget. Yeah, yeah. You asked shortcut, I looked ahead, then shook my head. Nah, let's take the long way. There wasn't a good reason, just a feeling that the night still had something left. The window stayed open, warm air, a little smell of rain, music low enough to hear each other laugh. Someone missed a turn, nobody cared, we just kept going. Take the long way home, we've been rushing long enough. Every extra mile feels like borrowed time, and tonight I'm happy to spend it. Take the long way home, leave a few stories for tomorrow. We've got this road, this song, and know where we have to be. A red light held us still. The couple next to us started dancing inside their tiny car. And not because anyone was watching, just because their favorite song came on. You smiled, so that's what freedom looks like. I think you were right. Half the places we passed were already closing. One diner still had people inside. They're talking with their hands, laughing too loud, stretching one last cup of coffee into another hour. I like that. Nobody seemed eager to end the night. I take the long way home. The stars don't mind waiting for us, neither does the morning. We'll get there when we get there. Sometimes the road is the whole point. I probably won't remember the street names or the traffic lights or what was playing through the speakers. I'll remember how easy it felt to sit beside you, watching the city slowly drift by. That's enough, more than enough. Neither of us said anything, you just nodded like we both knew this night had been exactly as long as it needed to be. Came and went before anybody noticed. The sidewalks still carried little pieces of the sky. You kicked a puddle like you were 10 again. I laughed, mostly because I wanted to. There's a tiny diner on 8th Street, same old sign. Half the letters don't even light up anymore. They make the best grilled cheese in the neighborhood. Owner looked up, pointed at our usual booth. Didn't ask what we wanted. Some places remember you first. The light's still on, come on in. We've got nowhere else we need to be tonight. Leave the day outside the The coffee's hot, the music's low. Somehow everything feels alright again. A girl by the window kept writing in a notebook between bites of pie. Maybe a song, maybe a letter she'll never send. I don't know, some stories are better when you don't know how they end. You looked at your watch, then took it off, set it on the table better. I think that was my favorite part of the whole night. The light's still on, so let's stay a little longer. Tell me something you've never said out loud, or don't. Silence doesn't feel awkward when you're with the right person. We paid the bill, stepped outside, the rain was gone. The streets were shining anyway. Walking home, I caught myself thinking I wish more evenings could be this ordinary. Then I realized maybe they already are. We're just usually too busy to notice.
You always find the streets.
I've never noticed the little bookstore with the sleepy cat, the bakery that somehow smells like Sunday morning, even on a Thursday night. You'd wave, people wave back. I kept wondering, do you know everyone? You laughed, no. Maybe that's what I've been missing. Not another trip, not another weekend away. Just paying attention to the place I'm already standing. Take the side streets, never in a hurry. Every corner has a story. If you slow down enough, good company, easy conversation, no big plans. Just another night that quietly turns into a memory. Someone was playing old records through an open window. The song skipped once, nobody fixed it. It sounded better that way. We walked without checking how far we'd gone, without wondering how far was left. A stray cat followed us for half a block, then decided it had somewhere more important to be. We said, we both laughed harder than the joke deserved. That's how the best nights were. Take the side streets, leave the shortcuts for tomorrow. Tonight we got time, street lights, warm air, and people who make silence feel comfortable. That's enough for me. Just a pause like the city's already making plans for another evening. We'll accidentally remember years from now. Still had the lights on. A handwritten sign said, open until midnight. Inside, someone was choosing between two kinds of ice cream, like it was the biggest decision they make all week. I like that life felt small enough to hold. You grabbed a bottle of lemonade. I found a bag of chips I hadn't seen since I was a kid. Funny how some flavors remember you before you remember them. Open until midnight. So are we? No need to rush this night away. Let's wander one more block, find one more reason to stay outside. The city's quieter now. You can finally hear your own thoughts without turning the volume up. We sat on a low brick wall, sharing snacks like teenagers with nowhere to be. A train rolled past, someone waved from the last carriage. I waved back, didn't matter that they couldn't see me. Some habits don't need a reason. You ask, do you ever think we're too busy trying to make memories instead of just living them up? I didn't answer, I was busy watching a paper cup roll across the street with the wind. Some questions can wait, open until midnight. Leave the lights on a little longer. Maybe tomorrow will arrive without asking to be invited. If it does, we'll deal with it then. Tonight, I'm exactly where I wanna be. The cashier smiled as we walked out to see you again. I hope so, not because of the store, because of nights that don't ask to be anything more than themselves. Morning starting to leak in, not all at once, just a little blue, where the black sky used to be. The cafe opens early, first customer is a guy reading yesterday's newspaper. Doesn't seem to be in a hurry to catch up. I kind of admire that. You wrapped your hands around a warm mug, didn't drink it, just sat there, letting the heat find its way back. Sometimes that's enough. Before the coffee gets cold, tell me one good thing about this week. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe the song we couldn't stop singing, maybe the rain that waited until we got inside. Maybe this morning, maybe right now. The baker flipped the sign from closed to open. Simple as that, funny. I wish people could do the same with their hearts. Some days I'd like to turn mine over and let a little more light in. The city is waking up, delivery trucks, joggers, someone unlocking a flower shop. Everything's starting over without making a big deal about it. Maybe that's how healing works, quietly, one ordinary morning at a time. Before the coffee gets cold, let's promise not to rush the next good day. We've spent enough time running past them. From now on, if something beautiful asks us to slow down, let's say yes. The first sip finally tastes right. The sun finds our table through the window. Neither of us says this was perfect. We don't need to. The empty cups will remember for us. Sun's climbing. Oh, 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 yeah. Sun's climbing over the rooftops. The same streets look different somehow. A guy unlocks his little flower shop. Someone whistled while sweeping the sidewalk. The city's awake again like nothing happened. Maybe that's the beautiful part. It doesn't know it gave us one unforgettable night. Woo! You stretched, finished the last sip, looked at me and said, I should probably go. I smiled, yeah, me too. Neither of us moved. different mornings, same sky. Funny how a night can change your week without changing your life. No big speeches, no promises, just enough kindness to carry home. I think that's more than enough. See you around, take your time. Don't let the busy days see you around. Convince you they're the only ones that matter. Wait, but leave a window open, call an old friend, walk when you can. Laugh a little louder than you planned. Life usually answers when you slow down long enough to hear it. I watched until you disappeared into the crowd. Then I headed home, hands in my pockets, a tune I couldn't quite remember found its way back into my head. I hummed it anyway. Maybe I got half the notes wrong. Didn't matter, some songs aren't meant to be perfect. They're just meant to remind you that you're alive. And somehow, that's the one.